It's Christine.
Hey, Christine.
Lee Easy.
Hey, Leigh. Leia. That's Leia. I know her.
Leia?
Yep. Hi. Welcome. Waiting on a few more folks to get in here before we start slinging paint. Kathy Swords. Hey, girl. Love you. Hope you're doing good. Ooh, y'all are in store for something special today. If I can maintain my speaking voice and my poor, gimpy, broken arm long enough. Hey, Tim. Welcome. Mr. Blaming Rocks. Autocorrect got you, Kathy. Now, when you guys hear me coughing, it is not coronavirus. It's just my normal tuberculosis, COPD, emphysema. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Jordan. Welcome. I'm good, Kathy. It's so good to see you. Haven't heard from you in a while. How's Mike? Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, guys, so as you can see in front of you, that is a 24 by 36. So here are some of the announcements. No, it's just never recovered, Ryan. First of all, we're going to be daily live streaming throughout the quarantine crisis because there's enough negative going on. We should all be able to enjoy something. So I want you guys to go with me start to finish. And I mean completely, the only thing I have done is unwrap this canvas and mist it so it'll tighten up. You're going to be with me through the mixing of the paint, the composition, all the way to the end of this one. And I might be doing a giveaway today. I've got a couple of paintings that are ready to go. This year so far has been good. I've been blessed with some sales.
And after the social distancing is over?
Yes, after the social distancing. So you guys, we're glad to have you with us. We're going to get truly rocking here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and pull some colors out here. We're going to need phthalo blue. We're going to need red ochre. Always going to need titanium white. And I got to go get another bottle of that. We're going to need some sap green.
There's Robin.
There's who?
Robin.
Hey, Robin! There's some yellow ochre. And my raw umber, which I'm going to need more of. I think I bought some more. I got a bag out in the car.
She says, hey, Christopher.
Hi. So glad you guys are here. Hey, do me a favor. Share this. Invite people to watch. Because today's going to be kind of a biggie. There's my...
Hey, Robin.
There's my 4 keys. Alright, what am I forgetting? I don't know. I'll think of it as we go. This is going to be a landscape because that's what I paint. But we're going to do this one kind of a throwback to last year in that really going to be painting a big old sky in this one. That's some huge rolling clouds, big dramatic sky. There is an artist I follow on YouTube. You guys need to look him up. Why did his name just go out of my head? Davies. Stuart Davis. Spelled Davies. D-A-V-I-E-S. He is a impressionist slash tonalist who does wonderful skyscapes. And he and I have kind of chatted back and forth a little bit. He lives in France, but he's British. Don't ask me why. And in one of his comments he said, oh, I don't think you can do this with acrylic. So I sent him a picture of one and said, oh, yes, you can. And we've been friends ever since. He invited me to, very generously, he has a much bigger following than I do, he invited me very generously to share my artwork on his page. I didn't feel right doing that, so I didn't. I might, but I haven't.
Kathy says Mike just had his treatment. We're going to try to return. We miss you. Your voice teared us up.
Oh man, I miss you guys too. And I listen, don't think I'm not praying for you, because I certainly am. Alright, on the palette we've got some phthalo blue. And I'm going to put some red ochre. We're going to block in the sky first. And the sky is going to be the major feature of this painting. So I said, you know, I'm going to do this one start to finish. It's a paint along, it's a demonstration, and it's a chat.
Pamela Ware's here.
Hey Pamela.
Buford T. Ogletree's here.
All right, Buford T. Support local arts. Buford T is part of Hot Rod Walt and the Psycho DeVilles. You guys see them posting for their band appearances. Check them out. It is well worth it. All right, what we're going to do with a very wet brush, I'm using a number 18 bright, which is the same thing as a flat. It's just a little shorter, which means it doesn't have as long a pull. And I could use a bigger brush to lay this in, and if you want to, you can. I enjoy doing the actual brush work, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix, this is a very experienced old palette here. I'm going to mix just a tiny bit of that red ochre in with the phthalo blue. It's going to make a very dark, sooty kind of violet color, and add just a little bit of white to that so you guys can see.
Aunt Betty's here.
Hello, my darling Aunt Betty. All right, let's get going. We got a whole lot of canvas to cover. Now, you can do this in any number of ways. What I'm doing, I call it the old slip slap. It's just alternating the brush stroke from the shoulder and the elbow. You can load up your brush, just like I'm doing here, on both sides, nice and juicy, and you can scumble it in if you want to. Either way is fine. I just prefer, for the most part, doing it like this. I want contrast in this sky. I want a lot of motion and emotion.
Robin says you need to move the camera.
I need to move the camera.
I think they can't see that top corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. It's going to be hard to get this whole thing in the frame, but thank you for pointing that out.
Aunt Betty says hope you've recovered from yard work.
800 milligrams of ibuprofen and 1 Goodies powder and a cup of coffee. Let's hope this is going to help us. All right. That's about the best I can do without backing up into the closet with the camera. Hope that's a little better. We'll come around this way a little bit. All right. Is that a little better, you guys? Let me know. I hope everyone is healthy and safe. We're all self-quarantining. But you know what? One thing we have talked about here in our household is we're not panicking about any of it, because there's simply no reason to. I'm a born-again child of God. He's got me. I'm not worried. That doesn't mean take unnecessary risks or be stupid. It doesn't mean don't listen to the professionals. Always do that stuff, of course.
Ryan wants to know, so that was red ochre mixed in with the phthalo blue?
Yes, ma'am. Two of my absolute favorite colors to work with. Now I'm going into just straight phthalo blue for this upper right corner, just for a little variance in color, because the sky is not always just blue and puffy white clouds. Skies have every conceivable color in them. I had someone tell me no they don't one time. I said, you ever seen a rainbow? Where was it? That would be checkmate.
Ryan says much better. Robin says we have half of the painting. I can see it all, Robin.
Robin's messing with me. That's what she's doing.
Is that what she's doing?
I'm telling you, she's just got to be Robin. I'm kidding. Love you. All right, guys, so I also have an announcement to make. Is everybody listening? I semi-retired a year and a half, 2 years ago from a lifetime of service. First in the military and medicine, and then in mental health and in ministry. I have spent my entire life helping people, and I've loved every minute of it. All the heartache, pain, tears, but pouring your life out into another human being is one of the most fulfilling things I could ever imagine doing. But in order to do that, my lifelong love of art had to always be the side project in the back burner. Well, it has been my front burner now, and it's going okay. But to take it to the next step, guys, I have started a Patreon page, and Tacey's going to link that in the chat. And I want to encourage you to think about maybe becoming a Patreon. It's the oldest art system in the world of being a patron of the arts. There are several different tiers there which provide options for various things. I'm going into some white now without cleaning the brush, double loaded, and I'm going into the wet part of the blue that's still down here. So it's wet on wet. And with the Patreon, I'm hoping to be able to purchase some better camera equipment, better sound equipment, some editing software for my YouTube channel. And my friend Charles is going to be helping edit videos for my YouTube channel so we can take this thing up to the next level. Plus it helps buy tubes to paint the canvases.
Patricia Whitaker Prescott to you.
Hey Patricia, and by the way, I would appreciate it very much.
Chris Christopher II is here.
Well, hello, Chris Christopher II. Do I know you?
I guess that's what that means.
What did you say?
Oh. What's up, Chris? Long time no see, bud. How's life treating you? Going back into some of the darker blue. So, if you feel so inclined, Tacey has linked, I assume, the Patreon. You can go give that a look. There are 5 tiers there.
There's no videos there yet.
Yeah, there's nothing there yet. There's just the sign-up options. But there's 5 tiers there, so you can do the easy peasy, throw some chump change, all the way up to being a platinum patron. This is my career. This is how I put cheese on the grits, and put the grits in the bowl, and pay the light bill. And so I would greatly appreciate you considering doing that. In the meantime, invite some folks, share the video, and let's get the word out. The arts are alive and well down in Georgia. Ain't no coronavirus stopping us. Alright, so we've got some good blocking in going on. I'm going to start shaping some clouds here in just a minute. Your horizon typically is going to get lighter toward the horizon. So all I'm doing is mixing these colors and adding a little bit of white in with them. And I'm going to let this one be a dirty, dirty color right here. With that red ochre and white. It will not make pink. It makes a very light brown. But it's a light brown that when you glaze over it, it glows. It has a very beautiful little glow to it.
Patricia says, hey cousin.
So good to see you. I hope you guys are all safe and well. I said at the beginning, for those of you who just came in, if you hear me coughing, it's not coronavirus. It's just my normal COPD, tuberculosis, emphysema, Smoker's Act. Don't hate. The price I was willing to pay. But I do hope you guys are all safe and healthy and doing the things you got to do to take care of yourself. I hope no.
Toilet paper.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope no one's eating toilet paper sandwiches.
That's what you should have painted.
A friend of mine did paint a roll of toilet paper. Miss Musselwhite. She's an amazing artist, and she's got a wicked sense of humor. I thought that was a great painting. All right, this is about as far down as the sky's going to go. And I'm not going to work the foreground yet. And again, this is a large painting, guys, so there's no way I finish this in one sitting. We're going to be daily. Until further notice, every day at 6 p.m., we're going to be live right here. Hanging out, drinking coffee, painting, having a good time. So let me hear from you guys. Here's my question. What have you been doing with yourselves to avoid the second worst sickness of all this, the stir crazies, the cabin fever? What are you guys doing? I know some of you work essential jobs like EMS, hospital, medical, mental health, and Walmart.
Nutrition.
And nutrition.
Teachers.
Let's start shaping in some clouds here. Just going to start roughing in some big old clouds. Please notice how careful I'm being with this at this point, which means not at all.
Which one, Robin?
What?
She said you need Dr. Pepper.
I need Dr. Pepper. Desperately. Desperately need a Dr. Pepper. But I do have coffee, so I'm okay. Boom. At this stage, all we're doing is blocking in. We haven't even determined a light source yet. Just putting some shapes in of where these big old rumbly clouds will go. I love big, towering, mammoth clouds. Maybe some of these will be gray. Maybe it's a storm, or maybe it's after a storm. I don't know yet. The painting will kind of tell me what it needs, and I'll just kind of hold on to the brush as it happens.
Ashley Cannon's here.
Hey Ashley, welcome to the studio. You guys, please don't think that I'm trying to be like some smarmy telemarketer, but we're going to throw the patron link up again. Tacey, if you'll do that again, because I really do need your support, because I want to take my art and my art channel to the next level. Now, one of the things I do, a lot of other artists don't do, not because they can't, they just don't feel comfortable doing it, is I teach. I teach every Friday at Hobby Lobby to a small group. I keep it small so no one gets no attention. Need more white?
Ryan says I want to toilet paper sandwiches. I pretty much
Yep.
have been told not to leave the house till June. Yep.
Yeah, Tacey is immunocompromised also.
Been sick since November-ish. I have been working on art, learning more Japanese, and reading more. Also experimenting with cooking.
Awesome, awesome. I know you're a good cook already.
Tricia says spring cleaning, cleaning out years of cluttered files in my file cabinet, and watching you.
Oh.
Janice Poole is here.
Hey Janice, good to have you in my studio. Welcome. We're glad to have you. Just blocking in these shapes. Now, I don't want to fall into a rut of doing the same old, so I've done the two towering clouds here in the past. What I think I'm going to do is just take this bad boy right on off the canvas. This one's just going to hold the roof up on the whole planet. And again, you'll notice how careful I'm being in the application. If you're painting along with me, that means not at all. You're just throwing the shapes up there to see what you're throwing it against the canvas to see what sticks in your mind. Painting is a lot like cooking in the sense that as you're cooking, you season to taste. Well, we use color to taste in painting. A lot of us have some training, some have a lot of training, some are self-taught, some are those amazing gifted folks that never had a lesson in their life and they can just do it. I love all of them, but with experience comes just knowing kind of what's working for you and what's not. Let's get a little red up in here just to have some different, just something different up here.
Ryan says teaching is not easy. Those who can do it are blessed with great abilities. I hope this corona scare passes over us all.
Same. I've taught Sunday school all my life. I was a counselor for so many years I lost count, and in doing that you do group sessions, and a lot of that is education, so you're teaching as you're doing. So I'm very comfortable teaching, and I was going to say I do the groups at Hobby Lobby, but I also do individual sessions for artists of all skill levels. If you're better than me, I'll take lessons from you. None of us have ever stopped learning. Let's put a little blue on top of that. But anyway, yeah, I do those things in addition to painting and all the other things I do. So your support means the world to me. Alright, and then a little white on the edge of it. Just blocking it in. Now, all of this is still pretty wet. I paint very, very fast, but I am using acrylic, and acrylic is notorious for drying fast. That is both its weakness and its beauty. I love both things about it. That it dries fast and that it dries fast. It allows me to work in layers, but I'm also able to paint fast enough to overcome any disadvantage that brings. And that just comes from being relaxed about how you paint. Just have confidence that something good is going to happen on this canvas. I just don't know what yet. I mean, I know it's going to be a landscape, but that's about all I know.
Robin says, I know someone who enjoys painting skills, tasting paint.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Skills equal wow.
My good friend Christine, who knows what every color tastes like. Christine, are you still here? Speak up. Let me hear you. Additionally, my YouTube channel is going back active. I've let it sit for a while. I was so busy with projects last year that I did for everybody but me that I wasn't. Something had to give somewhere, so the YouTube channel kind of was the one thing that could take a hit until such time as I got some better equipment and someone who knows how to edit, all that good stuff. And now I've got somebody. So we're going to be bringing that back online. Great way to market artwork, but also just to share the love of beautiful things. We all remember the lovely Bob Ross, what a sweet soul he was. And he just brought a little joy and comfort into your lives. You know, if you were stressed out, you watched Bob Ross, and that was the equivalent of smoking a big fatty. It just calmed you right down. Not that I smoke big fatties, I never have, never will. Just saying, same effect.
Christine says, I don't know if she's asking or what.
Is that a
It just said, Lynn Beecham's here.
Hey, Lynn. Good to see you. Welcome. Just getting these big old clouds blocked in here as quickly as we can. I am going to reach a point with these here in just a few minutes where I'll stop and work on something else on the painting to allow this to dry just a little bit.
Robin sees a face.
Of course she does. She's Robin.
I snorted.
I'm going to add a little burst of color in here in just a minute or two to add some really dynamic stuff. But like I said, I'm starting to look now. I'm looking for textures and shapes. Should I use a choppy brushstroke and do a very Monet sky? Do I want to do a little bit more of a finish like a JMW Turner sky? These are the things I think about when I'm at this stage.
I guess she's trying to follow. Christine's trying. She says, "You done lost me. You know I'm heavy-handed with the paint drying."
Oh, are you keeping up?
And now Robin says, "Oh, two faces." Lynn Beecham says, "Hey, Christopher, so glad that I caught this.
I'm glad you're
Loving
here
that
too.
sky."
Thank you, thank you. Gosh, man, I love painting skies. I didn't quite get it all out of my system last year. You guys know your art history. You know JMW Turner. He was one of England's greatest painters. He was, some people argue that he was the real founder of Impressionism. He wasn't. Or the real first Impressionist. He wasn't, because his subject matter was not the same. But he certainly was all about atmosphere and clouds and movement and storms. He had himself tied to the prow of a ship so he could experience a storm firsthand. Now that's some dedication, because I wouldn't do it. I've been in a storm at sea. I don't want another one. What are you giggling at, huh?
Well, this ain't. Ryan asked, "Do you think every artist should experience painting live at least once? It just seems scary to have others watch the creation process?
I think it's up to the individual. If you're comfortable having people watch, let them watch. It's never bothered me at all to have someone watching me work. I've had other artists here in the studio with me that I mentored some. Was that last year, honey? Or the year before?
What?
Was I doing the mentoring here last year or the year before?
Oh gosh.
I'm not going to throw anybody's name out there because I don't ever share anyone's info. That's from my days as a counselor, y'all. Everything's confidential.
But then Robin says make that 3. And then she says no. I don't know, I'm lost now, so I don't know why. And then Christine says it's Falcor.
Oh God, Robin did that. She saw the Never-Ending Story Falcor Luck Dragon in one of her own paintings. So it stopped being clouds and became Falcor. And I'm like, you know what? If it works, it works.
Aunt Carolyn says I'm watching.
Let's go on up a little bit with these clouds also. Let's just take them right on off the canvas here. I'm starting to feel kind of a stormy sky, so I may work in a grayish. What do you guys think? I'm open to suggestions at this point in the painting. I love that color gray that you get from the phthalo blue and the red ochre. It's a purpley, smoky gray. Very pretty. But to more thoroughly answer your question, Ryan, I think that if you are someone who's able to live paint or teach, do it. Do it. The more we share art with people, the more joy we bring into their lives. Joy is, art is pure joy to me. I don't do message art. I just want to share beautiful scenes of beautiful things. Oh yeah, this is starting to look like something now. We need some of that gray living up here. Let's get some of that going here. A little more water. One of the tips to remember when you're painting, I'm going to say 2 things real quick so I don't forget. But one is if you feel your paintbrush sticking and pulling against the canvas, you need more water. So wet your brush. Doesn't always mean load more paint. Second thing, I cover this in my classes for the beginners. When you're painting, the question I get is how much? How much paint do I put out to use? And the answer is very simple. You put out what you need, and only what you need, because you can't put it back in the tube. So don't pour out a big giant mountain of color. But put out enough, but you can always put out more. So it's better to put out too little than put out too much. Does that make sense?
Ryan says that red ochre just adds so much depth. Very lovely.
It does. You know, adding something besides blue and white in a sky. You know, look up. There's a great video, by the way. Tom Keating has passed away now. He was a master forger in England. Has a fascinating story. He got caught, and they were going to prosecute him, but he was in ICU and he was an older fellow, so they didn't. They let him go. But then he got well, and they had already dropped the case. So he became a very famous instructor. And you can find his videos on YouTube. But he does a painting in the style of famous painters. And he does one of J.M.W. Turner. And it's amazing. You guys should check it out. And you talk about learning a style. Wow. He really mastered Turner's style. And we're talking about working in tempera, oil, watercolor, everything on the same painting, multiple layers, multiple glazes, which is antithetical to what I do. I'm an impressionist painter. That means thick brush strokes laid on side by side. We allow optical blending. In other words, your eye does the work from a distance rather than me mixing every single color and blending every single stroke. So there's a big difference. But they're both good. Anyway, you get the chance, check him out. Tom Keating on Painters. Write that down and look it up later. You will not regret it.
Robin says I still see a mouth and a nose.
Robin, go to your room.
And then she says yes. I don't know why, because it's been a while.
She's a trip. All right, now we're starting to get something in here. My brush has decided we want a little bit more realistic clouds, and so that's what I'm doing. these will become as we work, breaking up those edges. If you see a pattern, a regularity in a natural object, it is not in your painting. It's not meant to be there, because those things just don't occur in nature very often. If they do, it's a fluke. And so you want to avoid that. You want things to appear random. A very good piece of advice I did get from Stuart Davies was, you know, people say, how do you get random if you're having a hard time with it? I'm going to do it right now for you. The camera's not on me, so you can't see me doing it, but I'm going to close my eyes and paint, take my glasses off. There they are. And I'm just going to close my eyes and move the brush around. And this is going to give me randomness. And then you just look back and you see what you got, and you build on it. And in so doing, you create a truly random experience in your painting. Oh wow, I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, let's work this down here. Going back into my white, because we're getting lighter toward the horizon. So what do you think, guys? Did y'all all see the people that obviously have no sense in their heads doing the coronavirus challenge and licking toilet seats?
Ew, gross.
And doorknobs?
There's more on a toilet seat than Corona.
You know. That's just disgusting and stupid. Let's don't be stupid in either direction. We're not going to panic, but neither are we going to go out and do stupid things. Because I don't have stupid friends. I'm just going to say right now, if you're stupid, you can't be my friend. And that doesn't mean ignorant. It means stupid. I'm ignorant of a lot of things. Ask Tacy, she'll tell you all about them.
Yes, I will.
I can't change a light bulb, y'all. My girl over here, though, she will go YouTube how to fix something and do brain surgery. Nope, it's just a small concussion. I can take care of that.
Robin says she don't see the face no more. You painted over it.
Good.
And the yes was about their blue and red.
Yeah.
Christine says you do the best clouds.
Oh, well, thank you. That is such a compliment. You know, it's only a liar that says they don't enjoy receiving praise. All of us do. What I don't like is when I get praise for something I didn't do, or that, you know, y'all ever got that consolation praise? You know, you did something, you just knew it wasn't good, but it's like, oh, bless your heart, that's so, and then they struggle for a second, and you just want to die a little death. Yeah, don't ever give me one of those. If my artwork ever sucks, please say, hey, Christopher, you know, you're a good artist. That sucks. I would much more appreciate that than fake praise. I remember as a musician one time, I did the worst show of my life one night. God, y'all, it was terrible. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. And somebody came up after, man, you guys rock. I'm like, and you're drunk. Like, normally, we do rock. By the way, you guys notice I haven't changed brushes yet. The amazing thing about a large brush is if you turn it sideways, it's a small brush. Let that sink in for a second. Because you can just turn it sideways and do smaller work. These clouds that are lower are closer, so I'm going to leave a little texture in them. I'm going to leave the brushwork visible, and I'm going to uncut the paint. I'm not going to dilute the paint in. Just raw paint using the side of the brush.
Christine says getting into your canned spray cheese. My canvas needed to rest.
You know, you cannot call yourself a Southerner if you've never had canned spray cheese. I'm just saying. I knew I loved Tacy when she walked in with some. This is a relationship that can go somewhere. And then my woman bought me some potted meat, and you know, that was over with at that point. Woo! Anybody else eat potted meat? Don't lie.
Nobody else eat potted meat. That's why it's always there.
I think other people.
They're never out. I bet you could find it right now on the toilet paper shelf.
Shut up. Not funny. People love potted meat.
No.
Especially if you're going fishing. Potted meat, Vienna sausage, moon pie, RC cola, soda crackers. Boom. You're set. Them fancy fishermen would bring out sardines. But I was never that cultured. Alright, hear that? Listen. Hear that sticky? That is the right texture to start these light pulls through the paint. Don't dig for paint that's not there, but you're lightly pulling any that's damp just to kind of fog them up a little bit. Alright.
Christine says no, that's brains and buttholes.
It's the best brains and buttholes you'll ever have, I'm just going to tell you. But you're half a Yankee anyway, so. Woo! She'll beat me up later.
Ryan says canned spray cheese and crackers, Vienna sausages. I have chicken potted meat spread.
Absolutely, see? That's what I'm talking about.
Ashley Demarest is here.
Hey, Ashley! Y'all, Ashley's a great artist, too. She does some of the cutest stuff I've ever seen. I'm in love with it. She does pop culture art. I guess that's what you'd call it, Ashley. If it's something different, feel free to post it. You guys go check her out. Alright, we're adding in some texture now. This is creating movement. When I get to the stopping point on this painting today, because we'll be daily, everybody. Every day we're going to be working on this painting until it's done, and then we'll move on to another one. But while we're doing that, I'll zoom in at the end of this and show you some of the, not detail, but the close-up brush work, so that you can get a good feel for how it's going. I need a little more gray in this painting. Let me get some water going over here. Where did I miss water? Those of you that are just joining in, we are going to be painting, live painting every day until further notice to get us all through this crisis.
Christine says, dang proud to be part Yankee.
And also, yeah, there's some gray. I need this gray in my life right here. Also, please consider becoming a Patreon, supporting my art career. This is what I do for a living.
Ashley says, hey, you're looking great.
Thank you. Just go over and give it a look. Tasty will post the link again. Go give it a look. There's 5 tiers from just a very casual donation to all the way up to platinum.
Amy French is here.
Hey, how are you? Who is that? Annie?
Annie.
Hey, Annie. Hope you're feeling good. All right. Now, one of the things I preach constantly to my students and to any artist that will listen is you got to dance with your painting. You got to step in, step out, step away, see what's working, what's not working, but you can't see it up close. This is a large painting, 24 by 36, so I have to do that too. But when I'm filming, it's a little difficult because the camera tripod is right behind my feet, so I have to be very careful. So let me right now step away for just a second to look at it, see what I need to do. Yeah, it's looking okay. This is a little too regular, this line of clouds across here, both in color and in composition. So I'm going to go, this pillar is here, there's a pillar here, there's a pillar here. So I don't want this lower tier to go a pillar here, a pillar here, and a pillar here. What you'll do is like I did here, in this negative space, bring a cloud up. So over here, I'm going to kind of roll up a cloud right here, one of these foreground ones, just to add a little height and a little interest. Using, again, the side of the brush. We don't want the cute cauliflower edges on our clouds because they don't really look like that. I mean, I know sometimes, well, I shouldn't say that because a cloud can look like just about anything. But typically, what we think of when we see those cauliflower clouds, if you look just a little closer, that's not what they are. There's a heck of a lot more going on there than that. Alright, gotta recharge the palette. Again, red ochre. Only two colors and one neutral. Red ochre, phthalo blue, and titanium white. Red ochre, phthalo blue, titanium white. This really needs a little more of that beautiful gray going on. So let's make some. All I'm doing, phthalo blue, red ochre, mixing it till it's a neutral, grabbing some titanium white, and working it till I have the color I want, and the shade and the intensity that I want. There we go. And let's get a little more, threat out of these clouds down here. What was that, honey?
I thought you said water.
Water? Brad Leone. I'm not as funny as Brad. Or I should say I don't have an editor like Brad does. Not yet. So finally, after it rained enough to make me want to start building an ark, 2 days in a row now of just magnificent weather. Did you guys enjoy that today? Everybody get a chance to get outside? I about killed myself in the yard yesterday. Get a little more water. Wet that area. Grab the gray. Work it in. A little motion. I want random again. Eyes are closed. Just shoot in some shapes. Random, 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 random. I'm always at war with myself, by the way, on my style. I am an impressionist painter. My hero is Claude Monet. Yes, I like Renoir, Pissarro, Degas. I like all of them. But my hero, not anything about his personal life, just my art hero, Claude Monet. The true painter of light. So, in one sense, my painting style very much reflects that admiration, but in the other, there's me. There's that which is just pure me. And those two things go at war every now and then. So what I like to say is it's okay to just be you. Just do it your way. There's nothing wrong with learning from the masters, but ultimately it's your art. And I don't want my paintings to look like anyone else's. I don't want anyone to be able to go to Hobby Lobby and buy a $35 print and have something that could take the place of my art. I want mine to stand out. So I keep my brushwork, my palette, pretty me. One of my collectors was telling me the other day, I won't mention his name because he's not here to defend himself, that I use a lot of vibrant color in my paintings. Now this one's not yet, anyway, and that's my signature thing. I'm like, I'm okay with that. That's okay. At the same time, I'd like to be equally known for good compositions and good contrast, good brushwork, all that stuff too, not just the vibrant colors. Yeah, let's get some spooky looking ominous clouds going. You would think I'd be tired of looking at clouds after all the weather we've had since midwinter, huh? A little bit lighter here. And breaking up those edges. A little more water. Chase the raindrop down on your palette or down your canvas, because it'll leave a trail for your paint. You don't want it to do that. And then you just slappity the brush, and it blends it all the way. What I need to do, one of the things I do, guys, a little tip, if you use a sectioned palette like I use, put some water in one of them, just with your mist bottle. You don't need a whole lot, just be able to dip into quickly when you need to. There we go. You don't want to go too bright too fast. You want some of that dark rumbly sky, dramatic, spooky looking sky. When I was a kid, I remember I was terrified of tornadoes, y'all. I mean terrified. I was convinced they were stalking me. They were gonna get me. And then I saw one time. Oh! I thought it was it. I thought that was it. It's over with. I'm going to die now. Well, now in my life I've seen a few. Anyway, way back when I was a kid, there was a perfectly clear blue sky day, no bad weather at all, but the cloud had just a little bit, its shape was a little bit of a tail. You couldn't stop me from calling, somebody got to come get me out of this house. That is a tornado coming. Help me. My grandfather came and got me and laughed at me incessantly. Kind old soul. Gonna grab a little white just to mix things up a little bit. We don't want uniformity. Clouds are not flat, they're three-dimensional shapes. So we want to hint there's other stuff going on in these clouds. Let's get a little bit going right here. Not detail and not too fine, because you don't want to pull the eye into the big clouds in the back at the expense of the clouds in the foreground or midground. There we go. Oh yeah, that's starting to look like something there. Now, a little bit more of this, and then I'm going to introduce some color. I've got a hot pink over here that I want to play with, and we're gonna play with that just a little bit. If you ever get a chance, look at some of Monet's sunsets that he did in England. Amazing work of light, of capturing light. And using some very vibrant colors. At that time, it was cutting edge technology to have all these wonderful new colors and tubes. You know, instead of having to mix it up with a mortar and pestle. I couldn't even imagine. I don't think I'd had the gumption to do all that myself. But again, the artist I mentioned earlier, Tom Keating, will show you how to do that. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's lighten that just a touch. A little water, a little white, into the same color. Let's soften that just a little bit. Because though we want ominous clouds, we don't want a roiling thunderstorm. At least not yet. I might change my mind by tomorrow. You guys have gotten quiet. Are you still there? Anybody? Talk to me. Are you? Oh! Are you there? Putting in a few little highlights. Side of the brush. Rolling the clouds. There we go. Now, what do y'all say we add some color? Can everybody see this stripe across here where the just above the horizon? We're gonna get some white living in there, down on the horizon.
Ryan says, I love seeing paintings of skies with those evening oranges and purples.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you, there's some beautiful, beautiful skies in this area. I'm gonna put some. This is folk art, bright pink. Rosa Brilliance.
Trish says, still here, looking good.
Thank you, Trish. I'm going to play with this color a little bit if I can get it open. There we go. Just palette here. Every now and then it's fun to go buy these. They're acrylic. They are not museum or gallery quality paints. However, when you mix them in with paints that are, they do just fine. So let's play with this a little bit. I'm going to put some pink living down here on this horizon. And I'm working, again, wet on wet. So that if I wish to change the intensity, I can just work in some more white. But first, let's get it on here. Let's get it juicy bright. A little sunlight's peeking through. Then I'm going back into my white and just giving it a little love. I'm not painting completely over it. This white is transparent unless you lay it on thick. So that pink is going to show through.
Carolyn says she's still here.
Well, hey, Aunt Carolyn. So glad to have you. I didn't hear you come in.
You didn't? I told you.
I thought I heard Aunt Betty come in.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay. All right. Now, what I'm doing right at this moment is just wiping my brush off. I mean, where else would you wipe it except on the canvas, because it's going to give you a dark tone under there to paint on. Right? Right.
Right.
Let's take some more of that pink,
Yeah.
a little bit of the phthalo blue, and I'm just going to kind of play that into the horizon. Side of the brush, just pulling it up. These old clouds are scudding across the skyline, capturing light as they go. Creates a very royal blue type color, shining on the underside of those big dark clouds on top of it.
Ryan says, I like some of the Jean
Boudin
sunsets.
Yep.
Yeah. I have seen some gorgeous sunsets lately with almost scarlet reds and violets.
Oh, absolutely. Get outside and look at nature. Nobody paints like God. Nobody. A little water on the brush. Going to blend right here a little bit. Soften this horizon. I want contrast where I want contrast. I don't want it where I don't want it. You are the sub-creator. God created us, and then in imitation of Him, we create things. So having said that, this imaginary world is my world. And I want what I want where I want it. And as the artist, you get to do that. That's what makes this so incredibly cool. Let's have some more of that bright pink just kind of hanging out down here. And I've got to decide here in a minute where I want the brightest bright to be on both the overhead light and this horizon light. And I think I'm going to go right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to paint the sun in. You can do that. I don't do it just because I don't want to. And I'm creating the spot where the sun is kind of back behind these clouds. There we go. And then just kind of let it work its way on over there. Almost like marble. I hear ba-ding ba-dings. What do ba-dings mean?
Robin sending you a message. Oh.
What's the matter?
On mine, Robin, I don't know, maybe you should leave the video and come back.
She not seeing it?
Well, look, this is what she sees. She's only seeing half the painting. She's not even...
That is weird.
Yeah. But look, this is the video.
Yeah, yeah.
And on my phone, I can see the whole thing.
And on the camera, the whole thing is in frame. All right, let's play with this pink a little bit. I am going to switch, but no, I'm not. Just to prove a point, I'm going to stay on this brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of this pink and make kind of a pinkish gray. And we're going to play around up here, just a little bit. Just little touches. Up where it's catching the light. Now, if you're an oil painter, you'll mix your color, and typically you try to mix enough to get you all the way through the painting. Because acrylic dries so quickly, you mix as you go, and you try to mix only what you need. If that makes sense. So you kind of got to develop a good eye and memory for mixing your colors. There we go. And then I'll come back in with some white on the edge of these. I don't know what that's about, Robin. I'm so sorry.
She went out and came back in, and that fixed it.
Did that fix it? Good.
JJ Erday is here.
All right, JJ, what's up? Just touching up here with that pink, because why not? I mean, seriously, why not? It's your painting, it's your world. It can be whatever you want it to be.
Chuck Clark's here.
Hey, Chuck. Hope you're holding up under all this okay, buddy. And a little bit over here. And then, excuse me, get a little bit going over here. It makes, you know, if you mix it with the blue, it's going to give you this wonderful violet color. Nothing wrong with that, because the red ochre and the phthalo blue already gave you a violet gray, so this blends in nicely. And again, clouds are not flat shapes, so let's work in some textures, parts of the cloud that come towards you, the viewer. And over here on it, you let them go off the page. They don't live on your canvas. They have a life of their own, a life outside of your painting. As Stuart Davies says, I got to give him credit for that line. Your clouds have a life outside of your canvas. And he's quite right. And don't overthink it. Whatever your instincts tell you to do, do it. I had a student that was a really good painter. Her only problem was, and she said this is her problem, by the way, not my diagnosis, that she second guessed everything she did. So in painting class, I'd see her start to do something and she would stop. You know, I'm watching out of the corner of my eye, and I would say, "What were you about to do?" And she would tell me, and I would say, "Go ahead and do that." And she would do it, and it would work. And if it didn't work, as my students will hear me say, it's only paint. It is only paint. You can paint right over it, especially when it's acrylic.
Rose Dean is here.
Hey, Rose!
JJ Erday says, "Don't act like you don't remember me."
You know I remember you.
Our old youth minister, Chris.
Yeah.
Old is the word, JJ.
You better stop all that mischief. Yeah, how about I ran into Bobby and I met his wife, and his kid is now the age y'all were when you were in my youth group, which I almost fell over with an old age heart attack right there on the spot. Thank you so much for that. Just little shapes up in here. Casey opened the door to go to the restroom, y'all, and it just scared the fire out of me. I almost jumped out of my skin. A little quiet clicking sound off to your left. Come on now. You can't do that to me. There we go. starting to look like something. Let's work in this area up here a little bit. You want to kind of work all over the canvas. A little moisture here. Pull a little more of that in, some of that. And remember guys, there's only 3 colors on the palette right now. So it's not a rocket science mix. You just kind of play around with different intensities of it, because all you're doing is creating the illusion of some kind of detail going on in these clouds. Did you know you just scared the soul out of my body?
No, not even close.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I almost had a complete out-of-body fit. Oh, yeah, I'm digging that.
You made Brian laugh.
Huh?
You made Brian laugh.
Yeah, I like that. That looks really good. Let's do a little bit more of that. Let's have some of those living over here.
Jimmy and Sylvia Mortensen.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the studio. Hey guys, one more time, the big announcements for today. One is we're going to be daily live streaming this same painting from start to finish until I finish it, or we all go back out into the world, whichever comes first. But I paint pretty fast, so I think I'll be done before the virus is. And also, I've started a Patreon page. Again, you guys, I hate trying to sound like a stuck record, but this is how I put the cheese in the grits, how I pay my bills. So if you would consider at any level, there are 5 different levels of support, go give my Patreon page a look and think about supporting how you can.
Christian's here.
Hey, Christian Daniel.
Did I tell you Rose was here?
Yes, you did.
Rose says, love this. Missed first part. Is this somewhere to watch later?
Yes, it'll be here, Rose. You can see the whole thing right here on Facebook. And I sure have missed you, Rose. I absolutely love painting with you. You guys, Rose is a great painter. And just a sweet, sweet soul. I love good people. I try to love all people, but I really love good people.
Jaleel Windman, she's here.
All right, Jaleel, what's up, man?
Christian said, who's Christian Daniel?
What?
Christian said, who's Christian Daniel?
Oh, God. You know, son, all I'm going to say is vogue on poetry. Vogue on poetry.
Rose says, thank you.
All right. If I have that contrast here, I must have it elsewhere. So let's put a little of that in. Oops. You actually have to get some on the brush. That was a dry grab. Just peeking around right here. Just some light playing on the edges. Another tip for you artists, don't throw away brushes unless they just come completely apart. Old ratty brushes make great natural textures. Let me see if I can find one of my examples. I've got, for example, got a ratty old chip brush here, caked with old dried paint. Makes great textures for doing grass and shrubs. Another example, this is a 1-inch hardware style brush, rusty, old, falling apart. This thing makes beautiful, beautiful clouds. Usually I use it instead of this, but I wanted to use my number 18 today because it's more comfortable for a longer painting, which this is. So don't throw your brushes away until they become just untenable. Or do. I mean, they're your brushes. Do what you want with them. I'm just saying that's what I do. But take better care of your brushes than I do. That's the one, my greatest failing. I tend to finish a painting and just throw the brush in the water and go, yes, and then walk away. And find a crusty old brush later on. Like, oh well, you know.
It's horrible.
It is horrible, and I am doing better at it. Strive to do better every day. Letting this gray just kind of wander down where it wants to see what this is creating. Yeah, and I'm digging it. I like that. All right, we got something happening here. Not happy with this color of the gray because it's not leaning as much toward the reddish as I want it to. So we're going to fix that right now. I want this to be a little redder right here. And then as it's getting tacky dry, I'm going to do a quick glaze up over it with a bluish gray. It's going to create a nice glowing contrast. By the way, that's not something new. I've been doing it all the way through this painting. I just didn't mention it. I do apologize. All you got to do that is get a little water, use the same color you were just using, pull a little bit more blue in it, and just go over it as you're working, all over the canvas. Needs a little more white in it. It's a little too dark. Don't want that much contrast.
Can't really see any color up in that corner.
I know, the glare is
That light,
bad. You know, with the Patreon money, one of the things we want is to have a better camera, better lighting, to be able to do better videos. So please do consider helping us out with that. I would love to be able to do a more professional looking presentation for you guys. I just can't afford to do it on my own. Every time you think you've gotten there, something on the truck's going to break or something on the car is going to break. You've got to throw your money at that. Whee! Let's put some pink in there. There. That's what it needed. It needed some pink. Come alive. Put some... Come here, pink. Get up in there. Look at that. Look at that pink. Doing what pink does. I don't know exactly what that means.
I can't see it, honey.
Okay. Well, I'll come over here and do it. Booyah! There's what that pink does. It just gets up there and makes a pinkish gray. Very lovely.
I keep trying to move to get the light so I can see, but that don't work.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. All right. This is almost looking like something. Let me tweak this cloud a little bit right here. It needs some love. As your brush empties of a lighter color, you work toward the side that's away from the light, and it automatically shades it darker for you. Isn't that a neat trick? So how many of you guys have got a school-age kid in the house that you're having to do the digital learning, or how are you handling that? I'd really like to hear. I've seen posts from a couple of folks on Facebook that I know that are doing it. Like somebody posted, for sure, prayer and corporal punishment are back in school now. That's too white. Turn that down a little bit. There we go.
Janice says mine are grown.
Oh, mine too, thank God.
Mine are too, Janice, but he's, you know, what can I say?
I'm the homeschool child.
Yes, he
That's
is.
what she's trying to go for. She's got jokes, y'all. There's that one joke she knows.
Yes, the only one.
There's that one joke she
Robin was helping me out earlier.
knows. You know, Robin, collaborating against teacher is not a good idea. Just saying. You know, let me brag a little bit. I was really proud of my fellow citizens. Tacey and I went shopping. And I've seen all the posts, good and bad, about the shopping experiences. I'm going to tell you, we went to Food Depot. Everyone, customers and employees, super nice, as sweet as they could be, helpful. Everyone was being considerate. We didn't see anybody hoarding. People were talking to each other. It was so refreshing to see that versus the horror stories you get on the news sometimes, you know? So we were really pleased by that. Really touched. Older guy asked us where the frozen strawberries were,
Yeah.
which immediately put a craving on me, because I'm very susceptible to that kind of thing. And I need a Dr. Pepper. Christine, why are you not here yet?
Ryan says no babies yet.
Yeah.
Janice says that painting is really pretty.
Well, thank you, Janice.
Robin says, wait, what?
People were nice.
No, I think she's going back to you saying she shouldn't
Oh
collaborate.
yeah, don't collaborate with Tacey. She's not the art teacher. She can't help it. I know you got that whole female solidarity thing going on though, so you know, mix it up just a little bit more of that blue gray. I mean that blue purpley gray color. That's what I want to do is get a little more motion going right here. There's a little more blue in it. There we go. Now, it's important, by the way, there are the 3 C's of any good painting. Composition, color, contrast. Composition obviously is the shapes, the things you're putting in there. Color is self-explanatory, but use colors that help your composition and help your contrast. But like I always say to everybody, contrast is king. The human eye is drawn to contrast and motion, but we're not doing motion, like a laser. At night when it's dark and it's hard to see, if something moves, you see it because your eye is built that way to notice it. Same with contrast. This is dark. If I come up in here and I put that light, it looks brighter than what it actually is. Because it has the dark working back there. And so that's the something that you want to keep that in mind. So as I'm working down here to the horizon, I want to create this very light area down here, and I have. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I'm going to let that dry until I decide what I'm doing with the foreground. And now we're just working in some highlights into these big rolling gray clouds.
Janice says, what store was that?
That was at Food Depot. The only thing they were out of was bread. And I don't know why that's a big panic thing. Let's discuss alternatives. First of all, make your own. Secondly, tortilla is bread, potato bread is bread, cornbread is bread, pancakes are bread. And what do you need all the bread for anyway? You gotta eat nothing but sandwiches? Come on. And I really overdid the white right there. Running my mouth.
Tricia says, my grandson Marcus is in public school, 8th grade, and they are doing their classes online. Malia is in a private school, 3rd grade, and they are giving out weekly packets for the parents
Oh, that's a good idea.
to pick up. I help when I can. They only live a mile away.
Right. Well, good for you. Good.
Janice says that looks a lot like over at the Gulf Coast where I am right now.
Oh.
Waves meeting the sky.
Oh, Janice, don't make me jealous like that. Lord knows I love me some beach. I'm pretty sure I'm actually an amphibian, not a mammal.
Ryan says contrast always makes me think of L.S. Lowry's Industrial Landscapes.
Yep.
She says pita bread.
Lowry did use a lot of black in his to get his contrast. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, huge contrast. But that's how you get the effect of light. You know, remember years ago when everybody was buying Thomas Kincaid, like Thomas Kincaid oven mitts, Thomas Kincaid welcome mat, plus his art. Painter of light. Well, go look at the paintings now that I've told you that, and you'll see why his pinks and his blues popped the way they did. All right, that's really looking like something. I'm really liking this. You guys give me some feedback. Let me know. Too much, too little. Let's have a little bit of that white running through here. And then, keeping in mind what I just said to you guys, I'm now reminding myself, clouds are not flat. They have a three-dimensional life. So let's have some parts of the cloud coming toward us here. Just a little whisper. I like that. A little water to soften the edge up here. 2 hairs and some air, as Bob Ross would say. Alright. Now, this squall line that I've got going here is the mid-ground. So it's going to get a little bit different technique. I've composed it now. All of this has been composition. So now we're going to start kind of putting things where they go. We're going to kind of start, shaping the things that we've placed there.
Robin says beautiful. Mike says more cowbell though.
Needs more cowbell, buddy. I love it.
Says looks great to her.
Thank you.
Christine says cowbell.
Cowbell. Needs more cowbell. Oh, another tip too, guys. One of the most valuable things any acrylic painter can have is a good spray bottle. Any will do, but you really want a good one. Missed your palette, missed your work like I just did when you need to. I want to soften this right here. That's why I put that much. But just one little spritz. It's going to give you a lot of water, so don't go crazy with it.
Ryan says looking great.
Thank you, Ryan. Let's soften this up. There we go. Now, that cloud finally became its own thing instead of being parts of several little things. Painting with the left hand now. Something I learned to do last year when I broke my arm. Not as good at it as with my right, but I can do it. Soften, soften, soften. While I work over here on this side of the painting, that will dry so that I can come back in and do some stuff over there. I'm liking this though, so I'm not going to mess with it too much. I am going to work here a little. Let's get some white edges. Little fluffy edges. Some fluff-a-nutter. How many of you guys have ever had a fluff-a-nutter sandwich? How many of you know what a fluff-a-nutter sandwich is? Somebody tell me you've had that. Why are you laughing at me, honey?
Because I'm thinking you probably are a fluff-a-nutter.
You need to just... help y'all. I'm cooped up with her. I'm kidding. I love it.
No, he don't.
Yes, and now we're going to put some big, wispy clouds in here. Blowing.
Christine, if you can tell us how to do it, we will. We don't know how.
Do what?
She says, can you post this video to YouTube afterwards? Then I can cast it onto my TV.
We are going to be doing that. My friend Charles has volunteered to edit my videos and to move all of my live streams that I've done on Facebook over to my YouTube channel.
We just don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how, but my friend Charles does, And he's a super, super, super human being for doing that for me. That's a little too regular. There we go. Let's get that going.
Tricia says peanut butter and marshmallow fluff.
That's it.
Ryan says I have with bananas added.
Bananas for moisture. Absolutely. And flavor. All right, now, I want to take just a little bit of water on my brush, and we're going to whisper this in. Just whisper. You're mesmerizing it, hypnotizing it. You're making this motion into motion instead of little cartoon-looking lines. The water's doing that for us.
Robin says marshmallow fluff.
You better believe it. Marshmallow fluff and peanut butter is fluffing at it. All right, that's looking good. I might do more of that, but not right now. Now we're going to establish this horizon line one more time, really bright. And of course, you want it to be a straight horizon, fairly straight. You don't have to be laser straight. If it looks straight to you, it is straight. More of that pink living in there.
Christine says, so I guess that means not tonight.
Not tonight, boo-boo. It's not like you can't come over here, Christine, and see the real thing in person.
You can replay the, oh, well it wouldn't.
Not on her TV.
But she wants to follow. So, don't matter if she comes and looks at the real thing.
That's, well, okay. Fair point, Dot. A little more water. It does help to make the sound effects, y'all. I'm just saying. I don't know if you know. I'm going to say maybe this your hands around. Stop hitting me. She's hitting me, y'all. Hey, there's nobody I'd rather hunker down with. I'm just telling you. My Tay-Tay. She's a gem. Stop laughing.
I mean, what you said earlier.
I said you needed a volume the size of a football. But that's only because you did. There we go. Now the clouds are moving. They're heading off the canvas over there somewhere. And what I'm going to do is we're going to slow down here just for a minute, and I want to thank you guys for coming to hang out. We're going to keep doing this every day. I won't touch this again until tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We're going to keep working on it, and you and I are going to get through this painting together all the way through it.
Robin says those are just love taps. Christine says whoosh.
Yes.
Of
course. Please do consider becoming a Patreon patron. There are benefits to doing so, and there will be more benefits as time goes along and I think of stuff.
Yeah, and we figure it out.
And we figure out how it all works. Share this video if you don't mind with as many of your friends as you care to. And
we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, come back tomorrow. Join us. God bless you. We love you. Stay safe. No licking doorknobs. Don't do that.
No, or toilets, or any of that.
Oh, God,
stuff.
no. No toilet
Or
licking.
buggy handles, or no.
Right. All right, guys. Love. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.